Hello, welcome to my channel. In previous video, I shared a method to draw circular bar plot for employee skills evaluation as example. In the eye-catching organized space chart, we can easily to find which employee is in the leading position in each evaluation criteria group. What about drawing a 3D chart to find which employee is in leading position for all three criteria? For example, technical skill, leading and management skill, personal development skills. With the 3D chart, we can have the class view, not only the leading employee for the three criteria, but also the view of the employee position in each criteria if we change the view of angle. On my screen, by rotating the 3D scatter chart with the viewing angle changes, with glance view, we can identify that employee 111 is more closer than all other employees to the leading position point, which has the maximum score 5 in all three dimensions. For the employee 111, seems that employee 105 and 107 both are in leading position than others. Changing the view angle by moving the slicer, we see that employee 105 has better score than employee 107 in technical skills and personal development, but less score in leading and management skills. You can also check other employees' position in the 3D graphic by moving the slicer with different angles. With this 3D interactive dynamic view, we can have a quick idea on the positioning of each employee in a 3D evaluation domain. In this video, I shall share a method on how to create such 3D scatter chart in Power BI with R script visual. Back to my example Power BI desktop file. First, we need to prepare source data table for creating 3D scatter chart. For source data preparation, in model view, we can find the tabular source table employee skills evaluations, which was used to draw circular bar plot in previous video. Right-click on it and choose the Edit Query. In Query Editor, on left panel, choose Query Employee Skills Evaluations. Right-click on it, then choose the Duplicate selection. A duplicated query Employee Skills Evaluation is generated. Rename it as Employee Skills Evaluations for 3D. On right panel under Applied Steps section, remove the last two steps to get originally class table, which has 4 skills evaluation columns beside the employee column. Let's add an index column which starts from the index 1. This table will be the data structure for drawing 3D scatter chart. The index column will be used to color the employee points in plot. Close and apply the changes. The source data table is ready. Move to the report view, create a new report page, and name it as a 3D scatter plot for employee skills. On right-hand side, expanded the visualization panel. Place the R script visual in the page. Drag and drop all 6 columns from table Employee Skills Evaluation for 3D into its values area. In top of the editor, few green color lines tells that table data values were imported into the auto-created new data frame variable dataset. We can create or paste R scripts after these text lines. For creating R scripts, let's launch the external R Studio by clicking Edit Script in External IDE button on top right side of the editor. In the launched RStudio, we see 3 lines of the script that Power BI Desktop automatically generated. Those lines do importing the source data table into RStudio from Power BI Desktop. Let's run the Power BI generated code line. And in console panel, use the view function to check if the data imported correctly. A table view is visible in source panel for us to verify. At this phase, we can start to create R scripts to draw the 3D scatter plot. First, to create the 3D scatter plot, we need to install a Scatterplot 3D library, which allows us to visualize data points in 3 dimensions. The website URL of the usage descriptions of the package I have placed for you in this video descriptions. Let's load the Scatterplot 3D library. Then define variables from the source data for plotting. We assign the columns from the dataset to the variable x, y, and z, and L. They contain the columns value correspondingly related to the technical skills, leadership and management, personal development, and employee ID. Third step, apply Scatterplot 3D function to create the 3D scatter plot. Define the plot variable scatter3d. Call function scatterplot3d for the plot variable. Assign the predefined x, y, and z variables for the 3 dimensions of the plot. Main for specifying the title of the plot. Color determines the color of the points based on the value in the index column of the dataset. PCH sets the type of point used for plotting. In this case, it is a solid circle. Type sets the type of the 3D plot to be created. In this case, it is H for vertical lines to XY planar from the point as the bar chart type. XLab, YLab, and ZLab define the labels for the X, Y, and Z axis. Angle sets the view angle as a 45 degree. Define font size and color for axis. Define font size and color for axis label. Okay, at this phase, let's run the script. We see an expected 3D scatter plot chart in the plot panel. From the plot, we do not have the info on which plot point stands for which employee. Thus, let's enhance the plot by adding label text to each point in the plot. So fourth steps, converted 3D coordinators and add labels with color to each employee point in the plot. Create a new object named scatter3d.cots by calling the xyz.convert method on the scatter3d object. This approach converts the 3D coordinators x, y, and z to a 2D screen coordinators for plotting. The result is a list containing x, y, and z components of the converted coordinators. Text function is called to add labels to the plot. Use scatter3d.cots $x to clarify the x coordinators in 2D screen space where the text label will be placed. Use scatter3d.cots $y to clarify that y coordinators in 2D screen space where the text label will be placed. Label is set to variable L to label data points with employee ID values from dataset. CEX for controlling the text size. POS sets the position of the labels. And COL specifies the color of the labels. In this case, it is blue. Okay, run the scripts. We see the text label with employee ID was added to each point. Copy these scripts in RStudio and paste it back to Power BI R script editor. Run the scripts. Yes, we have the 3D plot in Power BI desktop file. Last step, adding interactive rotating angles to view the 3D plot. First, let's prepare the angles data for Slicer. The angles data is a list of angle values used by Slicer selection to rotate the 3D graphic for capturing the different perspectives. This data table and slicer can be created with Power BI new parameter feature. In the current report view, on top ribbon, select Modeling tab. Find and click New Parameter arrow. Choose Numeric Ranger. In pop-up Parameter tab, name the parameter as angles. Enter 360 in the maximum box. Ensure the Add the slicer to the pager is clicked. Press Create button. Then in the report pager, a slicer with a selected value from angles data is added. In data view, we see a data table angles is generated. In report pager, adjust the 3D plot visual position to give the spare space on top of the pager for the slicer. Select and adjust the slicer position. Move its slider button to a selected angle value, say 45. Choose the 3D scatter visual. On right side, drag and drop the column angles value from table angles into the values area. Then in its R script editor, find the parameter argument angle for viewing angle. Replace the viewing angle value by angles column from dataset. State the first row of the angles column of dataset as the initial viewing angle for the 3D scatter plot. This means that the viewing angle is determined by the value in the first row of your dataset's angle column. Run the script and changing the viewing angle, we have the different angles to view the 3D scatter plot now. That is all about in this video. In the video, I have shared the method on using R script visual to generate a 3D scatter plot, and also introduced a way on adding dynamic viewing angles to rotate the 3D plot with a slicer visual based on new parameter feature generated the angle value table in Power BI. Hope the video brings some helps for you BI developments. Thanks for watching, and if you like to watch more videos from my channel, please press subscribe button. See you in next video.